Where is Britain's first skyscraper? Where was it built? You know the answer.
Because I used to live there. In Liverpool, still dominates the Liverpool skyline as well. We're talking about the Liver building. 100 years old today, and it's opening its doors to the public for a special exhibition.
So Breakfast Tim Muffet is on the waterfront in Liverpool to tell us more. Morning. Tim.
Good morning to you. Yes, there are very few buildings which can instantly identify a city, but the Royal Liver building surely is one of those, and it is 100 years old today. Now, here's the thing. One of those responsible for this was initially shunned by the city and indeed the country as a whole. And today, as a week's worth of celebrations begin, Liverpool is hoping to make amends. It's not just a building, but an iconic image. Liverpool might have changed radically over the past 100 years, but from the outside at least, the Royal Liver building hasn't.
Hi John, good to meet you.
For historian John Hinchliffe, it is an architectural masterpiece.
It is the very symbol of Liverpool, the most potent symbol that any city in the United Kingdom has.
Commissioned by the Royal Liver Assurance Society, today its office space is shared with other companies.
So when this place was built, did people know right away that it was something pretty special?
Well, they did, because it was the first English skyscraper. It was taller than anything else in Liverpool, and indeed any other building in the country at the time.
It might have become a city icon, but in 1911, not everyone was convinced.
I think from the very beginning it aroused what shall we call mixed feelings. There were some people who supported its design, but the professor of architecture from Liverpool University said that it was an excess of individualism, coarse and cumbersome.
This building isn't just famous because of its design or shape, but because of two sculptures right at the very top. Legend has it that without them, Liverpool would cease to exist. They're used as the emblem for Liverpool Football Club, and they also inspired the title of one of Britain's most successful sitcoms. The Liver birds were made by a German sculptor called Karl Bernhard Bartels, but having created them, he was kicked out of Britain. Anti-German sentiment during the First World War was rife. Tim Olden is his great-grandson. Today he'll receive a posthumous Citizen of Honour award on behalf of his great-grandfather.
We've grown up with the knowledge in the family that Karl created the Liver birds, but we didn't have any real understanding of how important they were. So it means ever so much that Karl's memory is going to be preserved in history, safe for future generations.
Part eagle, part cormorant, these mythical birds have for 100 years kept a watchful eye over Liverpool. And today, belatedly, the city will honour the man who created them. Now, from one very historic building to one very new building over here, the Museum of Liverpool, which is also opening today. And Phil Redmond is here, who, as well as the creator of Brookside, Hollyoaks and Grange Hill, is also the chair of National Museums Liverpool. Phil, what will people find when they go into there?
Well, I found two things really. One is a bit of the history of Liverpool itself, but that's actually tied to where Liverpool's position is in the UK history, because we've got to remember that Liverpool wasn't invented in the 1980s, nor did it come with the Beatles or Bill Shankly. It was here long before that as the second city of empire. So it's important not just for Liverpool, but for the entire UK as well.
It's cost £70 million of public money. Worth it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, because the other aspect to all things like heritage and museums and galleries is that they are tremendous stimulants for the tourist economy. And in Liverpool here, following capital culture, we know for every pound spent, it brings something like £10 to £12 back into the local economy. So a very important aspect in the future of Liverpool. 70 million well really spent, and probably one of the last big public projects that we'll see for a long time in these austere times.
Okay, Phil, thanks very much indeed. Best of luck with the opening, and it was really a week's worth of celebrations happening right along here, along the waterfront. There'll be 3D projections, there'll be outdoor orchestral performances, and a chance really to celebrate the new, the museum, and also the old, the iconic Liver building, 100 years old today.
Marvellous. Thank you very much. Thank you.